So in the course of doing probate real estate, often I find clients, whether it be estates or attorneys, need to do research to find other heirs or to run down either dead ends or possible heirs on an estate. And one company that does that is Seek Research. And I had a chance to talk to Jared on our Facebook group. Jared Ross, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
So give me a little brief overview. What is Seek Research and what do you guys do?
So I guess a clean, easy way to put it is some of the best opportunities we've found are owned by deceased people. And we find deceased people, all right? That's a simple way to put it. We really focus on really every aspect of it from start to finish. A lot of the times we just start with a lot. We find the last owner on record, and then we do everything we need to track down who is still surviving in their family tree and it might be able to inherit this property. We'll call them, work with them through the entire probate process with an attorney, facilitate getting any signatures for documents, the communication, and then we kind of ride that out until close to make sure that, we don't leave them high and dry at any point. A lot of times we're able to hook them up with the buyer as well. And so we right from the start of the process, from the time they learn about the property all the way till they've got money in their hand, we like to stay on and help out.
Well, I think that's the key to success in this niche is it's one thing to say, well, I just do this. But if it's 8 handoffs, if anybody drops the ball along the way, not only do you not get paid, but more importantly, the customer doesn't get serviced.
Right.
But if you can solve the problem the whole way, then you do. So it sounds like to date, your focus has been on land where maybe there's smaller bounces, not as much interest in finding heirs. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, in Philadelphia specifically, there's just such a market for it. The vacant lots tend to just be, they tend to fall into the category of deals that we handle more often than not, because if there's a piece of property, if there's a building on the property, typically within 5 years, definitely within 10, if it has been sold at a tax sale or purchased by an investor already, it's going to be demolished. It can't be left abandoned for too long to be a safety hazard. So that is really the story with a lot of these lots, is that they were at one point, there were homes there. And just, it's been so long since anybody knew about it that the homes have since been demolished.
So to my listeners, working with attorneys makes sense because attorneys are often processing estates that they need to do research for heirs. And so do they contact you and ask you to do research and you guys turn up some heirs, or you'll verify there are no other heirs? Is that kind of the process there?
Yeah, we've had that situation before. We've done work for clients who are working with attorneys, and then attorneys who have their own client and they just need us for one piece, one document. We aren't attorneys. It's an important thing to know, but we work with them on every deal that we do. So since we have a really good understanding of what documents they need before we even call them, which really cuts down on the time for everything to get done. We definitely help out once this thing is already in process. If there's already a family member that's been found or already an investor that's taken it upon themselves to do what we're trying to do here, we can swoop in and provide any documents, any verification, anything like that they may be lacking to get the deal done.
Is the estate attorney paying you a fee up front, or do you work on a contingency, or is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both, and it's case by case. A lot of the times we're able to take a good chunk of the pay at closing. It makes it easier for everybody, the investor or whoever's money is involved, seller or buyer, isn't putting it all up there on the line for something that they don't know is going to close.
So in cases where it's not clear, what's a common fee to get you started?
So our research starts at $150 an hour. We don't just go out. Usually we take 5 hours up front as a retainer, so to speak. And then if we're approaching 5 hours and we haven't found all the information that we need to put the thing together, we'll reach back out and just have that discussion, then see if they want to go deeper on it.
Got it. Okay. And so then you also work with municipalities, or they contact you when they have properties are abandoned, and how does that happen?
Yeah, we got started with involved in the city of Philadelphia. And I don't know if any of your listeners, or if you're familiar maybe with the term tangled titles. That's kind of a phrase that was coined in Philadelphia because of all these properties where a lot of the times they're lived in, and in order to really qualify for all the programs they have, there has to be a building and they have to be occupied. But it's these generational homes where somebody's grandparents or parents didn't record a deed in a new person's name when they died. So they passed away many years ago, and maybe a sibling or even a friend was living in the house, been paying taxes, right? And now that they need to do something with it, refinance it, sell it, go after some of these grant programs to fix it up, even ask for some for a tax, a payment, a payment plan. They have to be the owner of the property. So they're in this pinch where, the person who has the authority to sign it over is deceased and they need it signed over. So in Philadelphia, it's a huge problem. I think they estimate 10,000 houses and over like $1 billion in equity is trapped in that kind of a loop. But we're finding out that there's a pattern everywhere. We've seen in Cleveland, some in Texas. So yeah, I think it's going to be becoming a bigger problem as property values continue to rise, and the generation that built all these homes continues to pass away.
Well, especially with tighter inventory, people are scraping deeper to find pieces of property that otherwise have been overlooked. And so it's an interesting term. I've never heard tangled title, but it does describe accurately what's going on in those cases. So, and then do you work with title companies? Do title companies use you for research when they're trying to verify there's no other errors, or how does that get involved?
Usually for a title company, we're there as another level of assurance, another level of security. Yeah, to make sure that it's usually in the case of these older deals, we say pre-1990. If the property hasn't sold since 1990, there's a good chance that the owner is going to be up there in age. So anything that they have a suspicion about, or there's an estate, somebody steps forward as representative of an estate, and there's not a solid paper trail that proves exactly the chain of ownership, then yeah, they'll call us. We'll be able to come in and get the documents that they need to close. A lot of the times, some title companies just throw them out, right? If they can't get the commitment satisfied, then there's no deal to insure. And that's I think a big part of the value been able to bring to them is to let them close these deals that they would have otherwise thrown out and would have had wasted energy and time on.
Right. So I know that your focus has been Philadelphia. Do you service nationwide? Are there certain states that you service at this point, or you do research anywhere, and that's just your focus?
Yeah, our focus has been in Philadelphia. That's sort of the origin of, really a lot of the title problems. Title insurance itself was kind of created in Philadelphia back in the late 1800s. So that's just been a hotspot for us, as it is for many things. But yeah, we have the ability to do nationwide. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then Jared, to get a hold of you guys and look at that is the best place, the website seekresearchacq.com. Is that the best place to find out if you guys can help them?
Yep, seekresearchacq.com, and we've got tabs on there for attorneys who are already involved in a probate case and need a hand, for title companies who are looking for that extra level of security on these older deals, for executors or an administrator of an estate who comes to us on their own is something that we're able to help them out with. Yeah, and then the municipalities, like you said too, we're trying to I think the product that we're offering is needed across the real estate sector. So just really want to make sure that everybody who has a question is definitely welcome to come ask us, and we'll see if we can help.
Fantastic. I'll put that in the description down below with the website as well as the phone number. And Jared Ross, it was nice of you to reach out on Facebook. I'm glad we've met before and we had a chance to rekindle it here today. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, Bill, thanks for giving me the time.